Hi there, and welcome to the first month of Arrangement Academy on YouTube.
It's a new month, October, it's spooky season, and what better song to arrange than Can You Hear the Music?
The spookiest track of all.
The spookiest track of all.
As always, this is something that we're doing together as a community, so feel free to make your own arrangements and put them down in the comments, and we'll look at every single one. We love seeing you guys' work.
And this is such a special piece to arrange, so I can't really wait to see what's your take on this. Because as you will see soon, there are quite a few obstacles when arranging this one in particular, right, Elias?
Definitely. I definitely had some obstructions trying to get through this one.
Now, when working with Can You Hear the Music, you will most likely start with a very iconic line that sounds like this. And I remember struggling so much with this one. I actually took my piano, placed it on the floor, found a very comfy position to lay down in, and I just played it over and over again, slowly but surely getting more and more comfortable. And I did realize kind of a method that helped me a lot on making sense of the pattern. And it looks like this. The pattern is kind of divided into 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we climb upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so forth. Now, if you only play the bottom 3 in isolation... Oh, this is so nice. So much more comfortable. So much more easier to kind of visually see what's going on, right? And if you do the same for the top 3... This is good. Much more comfortable. And then if you get very comfortable playing them in isolation, combining them will make so much more sense. And the same goes for the downward motions. Here we have 6 notes. Now only playing the top 3. Really, really nice, right? Only playing the bottom 3. Also really nice. And then we can combine them. And so forth. And I also struggled quite a lot with realizing how to use the finger positions. There are a lot of options we can choose, and me and Elias, we actually choose different ones. I play from my thumb, while Elias does not.
No, so I play from my index finger instead. And this is a technique that I sort of got from playing scales that start on a black key. So like if you start with an E flat major, for instance, that is how you would play that instead of. So I just thought that this is also like a tricky finger placement thing. So maybe I can actually lead with my index finger.
And that will help you get a lot less tension when playing. Because if you notice on my position, I kind of have to stretch my fingers quite a lot. But if you start with your index one instead, you notice how my hand is resting a lot more comfortable, right?
Yes. So you essentially get the top 5 notes just landing where your 5 fingers are, apart from the first one. But one thing that I like about yours, Johanna, is that yours is more visually clear, because it's always the same pattern, and it always looks the same. It's always like starting with the thumb.
Yes.
I think it makes a lot of sense, like logically.
Yes, I just want to try to figure out. I didn't think too much about the placement. I wanted to see all right, what's actually going on? If I group this one kind of like this, right? You will notice there's quite stretchy positions, right?
I think that was the one that did it for me, when you have to go like this.
Yeah.
Like that. My hand was not made for that.
Yeah, it can be quite tricky sometimes, but I just thought it was so nice to see what's going on.
Yeah, so
I kind of forced myself to learn it,
yeah,
I guess.
And that makes sense. And the thing about fingering is that you need to just find what works for you. Mm-hmm. In a lot of the old books with sheet music and stuff, there's usually a correct way to do it. But I think that you should just try and find something that works for you. And obviously we found different ones.
Yes.
So there's no right answer really.
Especially depending on, I think, your finger span and your kind of hand size. That will determine a lot what's comfortable and what's good for you.
Exactly. Because I think we both got quite large hands, but yours are stretchier than mine. All right. I'll leave you to the rest of it, and I'll just head off screen again.
All right. See you soon, Elias. All right. So that's the main pattern. And you notice that there's so much going on with the right hand here that there's not really room to do much more. Therefore, we can be very creative with our left hand. And some of the most common chords you will most likely play is C major, D major, E minor, A minor. Now playing them in octaves, just the root note can sound really, really epic. And I think it can help getting comfortable playing them in different rhythms. So if I just loop my right hand with one note, I can experiment playing different variations with the left hand. Just playing around with different options, and once that feels comfortable, I can start adding the pattern in the right hand as well. And whatever I choose to play in isolation like this, I think it's a nice starting point to remove this very challenging and sometimes confusing pattern and only focusing on the rhythm. Now, something I really want to talk about also is kind of the heart of the piece, because you really focus on this right-hand pattern, but there's something else that's very iconic for it, and that is the small melodic movements. Oh, you can really feel the bass if you've heard the track and seen the movie, right? And I think playing this in isolation kinda gives a vibe of the piece as well. If you play around with these main notes, you kinda have the vibe of the piece as well. So you don't necessarily have to only focus on these very fast motions. You also have the melodic notes of the piece. So try to listen to the piece and notice what you want to use and what you want to remove to leave you room to add other things. And for some, it might be using only the pattern. For some, it might be using only this motion. Some might want to combine it, like me and Elias have. You find your own sweet spot, and I really can't wait to see what you will do. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. I just want to share one part I'm very happy with my arrangement. That sounds like this. And we will go more in depth on Patreon, but the main idea here is that I mimic the right hand pattern with my left hand. Take a careful look here. The top 3 note, I play with both hands, right? And if I also add some bass and some motions to it, you can really get such a nice build. And that's just one of many ways you can approach the track. All right, now I'm done geeking out about the piece. Now you will have complete freedom to do what you like. Hope you have a blast arranging, and I'll see you soon. All right, so that is our thought of Can You Hear the Music? We really can't wait to hear what you will do with this. Make sure to arrange it before this month ends.
And make sure to comment below once you've done so we can check it out.
Yes.
Until then,
Happy arranging.